right, y'all, show of hands. Who here may or may not be obsessed with Love Island? This is a safe space. I'm right there with you. And it's because the marketers at Peacock are responsible for activating some of the most exciting campaigns that we all know and love. Now we get to tune into a behind-the-scenes look at just how Athena Miller and Brooke Erickson from Peacock create these viral campaigns. Welcome, Athena and Brooke.
Okay, so the first question that we were going to ask was kind of already prompted, but who here has heard of Love Island? Just shout it out. Awesome, I love to see it. For those of you who haven't watched it or who don't know what Love Island is, it is a reality TV show that is very unique in the way that it operates. It's also probably our most popular Peacock original, especially in the summer. Anytime you watch an episode of Love Island, that episode was filmed no more than 1 to 2 days before it was actually aired. And they invite users to actually participate in the show by voting for their favorite Islanders, voting people off the show, and also voting for who wins at the end of the season. So with that, we want you guys to do a little bit of voting of your own. The first question that we want to ask you is, are you guys watching Love Island USA Season 8? This is your time to get out your phones because you're going to scan a QR code and you get to tell us where you're at. If you're living at the villa, first-time Islander, or if you don't believe in love. So, scan the QR code and give us your answers, please. I am not a big reality TV fan, however, Love Island is my one exception. I watch it every summer with my roommate. This is like our 5th summer in a row watching it, and it's basically our indicator that summer is here, so. Love to see it. Love to see it. Don't believe in love. 39%, 41%. This is crazy. Anyone who's in this 41% range, you gotta get on it and watch some Love Island. It's a great show. And with that, for those of you who are watching, or if you just want to vote on this next poll, Ariana Madix is the host of Love Island. Yes, we love her. We love Ariana Madix. She was originally on a reality show called Vanderpump Rules, where she was very vocally, she was very vocally a very big fan of the show, and now she hosts Love Island, and probably the best thing that she's known for are her amazing outfits. And so we want you to pick which of these 3 are her best looks so far. So once again, we're gonna have you vote on the black dress, her little dot jumpsuit, or her pink nightgown. I'm partial to the black myself, but I wear a lot of black, so. Love it, love it. Yep, the black dress. Black dress, still winning, still winning. The pink nightgown was cute too, but that intro dress was just something else. Love it. Great. So, hopefully that got your attention. And for those of you who do watch Love Island USA, you know that Love Island fans are really known for their passionate devotion for the show. They don't need our emails to remind them to watch an episode or recap an exciting moment. However, their devotion is very great for gamified experiences that we pull in through Movable Ink. Things like scratch-offs, polls, countdown timers, all sort of help to deepen that experience for our users and give them a new level of engagement, even if the polls that we put in our emails don't have a direct result on the show itself.
And what's important here is that we're extending the Love Island experience into the inbox. That's where we really start to see stronger engagement and deeper connection. All right, now that we got your attention, thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm Brooke Erickson, Director of CRM at Peacock.
And I'm Athena Miller, Manager of CRM, and we're really excited to tell you how we utilize Movable Ink to automate and personalize our CRM program.
We're going to share how we've evolved from a manual campaign-based execution to a model that truly balances personalization, automation, and efficiency at scale.
We're an example of how you don't necessarily need the most out-of-the-box ideas to make the most of Movable Ink. A lot of what we use Movable Ink for is just to lighten the workload for our team, on top of also elevating the experience for our users.
We're going to share things from both the strategy side as well as the execution side and call out tangible examples of how we've reduced our workload while improving performance. At Peacock, we push beyond traditional email. We try to think of email as more than just a static message in a user's inbox. We want to make the experience more interactive, more dynamic, and more connected to the experiences our users are used to experiencing at Peacock. Initially, this started as a way to improve engagement, but it quickly became something bigger, a way for us to work smarter, not harder, and scale more efficiently.
We like to think of our emails as more of an engaging experience. It's very easy to get lost in the shuffle. We don't want to feel like we're just selling something to our users. We really want them to feel a level of engagement and participation with us. And again, a lot of just Movable Inc.'s standard apps that come with their system do that very well. We use countdown timers to build anticipation. I think most recently we used it for Copa Mundial. Scratch-offs to reward curiosity and test fan knowledge of their favorite content, and then of course polls to invite participation. These campaigns end up becoming an extension of the content that our users are watching, which just isn't possible through traditional HTML or even creative assets. And we wanted to continue scaling these campaigns, and the best way to do that was to rethink how we went about our production. We really needed to learn how we could save time. A lot of what we do with Peacock, or I guess some of what we do with our emails, is a lot of our stuff is templatized. It's utilized quite regularly, and we're switching things out. And we wanted to find ways to manage that and save some time. A perfect example of that is our top 10 module. So this is essentially just, and I should have put an example here, I'm realizing now, but it's just the top 10 titles on Peacock for the week, numbered 1 through 10. And this was a module that was completely updated via Photoshop, so we would have to go into Photoshop, update the number, update the title, export the image, upload that image to our media library, and then update that in our HTML, and then do that 10 times over every single week. It ended up being really time-consuming, and we realized that we could actually just switch it over to Movable Inc., taking a multi-step process down to pretty much a single step without any manual HTML intervention. Instead, we just switch out the image and hit save, and anywhere that that content is currently living, it's going to get updated, reducing the workload for our team by a substantial number. And this is where automation really unlocks scale, not just in the way that we elevate the user experience, but also in how we operate as a team.
Next, let's talk about sports. This is one of the areas where automation has had the biggest operational impact on our team, which is great for us because Peacock has really leaned into sports over the last couple years, between being the streaming home of the Olympics, adding the NBA coverage in the fall, or bringing back our MLB coverage this past spring. There's always multiple sports in season at any given time. However, as exciting as live sports can be, they can be a huge pain. Weather delays, athletes getting injured, you name it. Athena's going to share how Movable Inc. has been making it more manageable for us.
So the most impactful way has been with our dynamic sports schedules. These are Excel sheet-powered schedules where the Excel sheet stores all of the information, so the date, the time, the logos, things like that, and then Movable Inc. takes that information and generates these calendars. Each calendar is designed to match the league. They're typically designed by our internal design team, and then we give that to Movable Inc., and they create these beautiful calendars. These are just 3 examples, but I think we have a total of 8 league calendars so far that are all powered through Movable Inc. But the most important thing about these is that they're dynamic, and so they update in real time as time moves forward. So if we send this email on a Monday, but for whatever reason somebody doesn't open it until Wednesday, any of that prior game information is going to disappear and then be replaced with newer, more up-to-date and future games. This ensures that our users are seeing only what's relevant to them, because I think most sports viewers can attest to this. Like, you're not going to go back and watch an entire game from start to finish if it's already happened. At most, maybe you'll watch some highlights. So this ensures that they're always getting accurate and up-to-date game information at the time of open, as opposed to at the time that we send it. I know that a lot of email marketers can probably attest to this that are in this room now, that one of the worst things about email is that once you send it, you can't grab it and pull it back. So if you send it with the wrong information, or maybe it was right when you sent it, but that information has now become out of date due to, as Brooke mentioned, schedule changes, weather delays, things like that. Once that email is sent, it's there, and you can't grab it out of their inbox the way that social can rewrite a caption or delete it and repost. So these dynamic schedules are kind of a nice loophole around that, where Let's say something has changed and we need to make an update. If we update that Excel sheet, it's going to be updated everywhere, and that includes in the user's inbox when they open the email. So even if the information has changed since we sent it, it's going to be up to date once we update that Excel sheet.
As much time as these schedules really do save us, I remember being urgently asked on the weekend to upload a new Excel sheet during 2022 when we had the last World Cup, which, shameless plug, if you guys are looking to stream it, it's on Peacock right now, so head on over. But again, these save us a ton of time. It's really quick to upload a new Excel sheet, but I'm a full-time working mom with a 2-hour commute every day. I'm the kindergarten room mom, the soccer mom, the softball coach. You guys get the point, parents out there. I can't always get to a computer to upload a new Excel sheet at the drop of a hat. So we really wanted to look for a more efficient solution for our next high-profile sporting event, which brings us to the Olympics. Unfortunately, the powers that be made us remove all of our Olympic examples from this campaign, or from this presentation, but I'm super bummed because Athena made the most beautiful custom template for the Olympics. So if you guys are not subscribers, make sure that you at least sign up for our emails before the 2028 LA Olympics. You can see all the exciting content we share. But again, we've been using Excel sheets to populate all of our sports campaigns. However, for the 2024 Paris Olympics, and then for the Milan Winter Olympics that we just had, we leveraged API feeds to populate all of our Olympics campaigns without the need for any manual intervention. So our schedules, our medal counts, which we're always showing the standings by country and time of open, and we even pulled in a news article rail that kept our subscribers informed of breaking news and exciting stories throughout the Olympics, all without the need for any manual intervention. It was wonderful, especially because when the Paris Olympics started, it was raining and all of the skateboarding events got pushed, and we didn't have to go upload new schedules every 5 minutes. It was great. But that got Athena and I thinking, this is amazing. Why aren't we doing this for all of our sports schedules? So we kicked off a massive project to go through all of our different schedules and see which different information we would need across all of our leagues and pull it into one big API feed that we will now be able to use to populate all of our sports schedules and finally ditch Excel sheets for good. These calendars deliver value in multiple ways. They save time, they reduce our workload, they make the content always up to date, even if there's updates, and they're perfectly branded across all of our sports leagues. But the biggest takeaway is that they have reduced our production efforts by 75% across all of our sports campaigns. All of this leads to our broader goal of personalization at scale, expanding beyond targeted campaigns to truly individualized experiences for every user.
Our first iteration of this was with our lifecycle progress bar. We worked with our decision sciences team to come up with a list of next best actions that a user could take to help them become a more engaged and stickier user. This list is very specifically ordered to drive initial device adoption, initial content consumption, and then broader engagement behaviors. The UI is very simple. It's a checklist, sort of to-do list style UI. If you've done the action, it's going to be checked off, and if you haven't done it, it's going to remain unchecked. And if it is the next item on your to-do list, it's going to either flash or have a corresponding CTA to sort of encourage you to take that next action. And this initiative was so great that we actually recently expanded it into our push campaigns for further reach.
Personalization through content recommendations is another area we like to focus our campaigns on. This is really tricky for us, though, because we have to abide by VPPA, Video Privacy Protection Act, which prevents us from sharing any viewership data about any of our customers. So our lawyers make sure that we follow this very strictly, and we cannot store or even pass any viewership data through our ESP. Anytime our MoveLink account reps share a new feature, Athena and I get so jealous because there's so many fun ideas that we just can't do because of VPPA, like the rest of you guys marketers can do. But VPPA doesn't prevent personalization, it just changes the way we deliver it, and it makes it a lot more challenging.
One of the ways that we have been able to personalize our campaigns, given those VPPA restrictions, is with one-to-one title recommendations. So if any of you have ever logged into Peacock, or honestly, like really any streaming service for that matter, you see rows of content. We call those rails internally. It'll be things like comedy movies, and then a list of comedy movies, and live and upcoming sports, and then a list of live and upcoming sports. However, there's usually a handful of personalized rails that are there based on your viewing history, things like, recommended for you, or because you watched a New Girl, maybe you'll like these. And a way that we were able to get scrappy with personalization was by pulling in this content using Movable ink and still protecting the user's data. So the way that it works is we just pull in the title recommendations to Movable ink since these recommendations are already on platform, and their viewing history stays safe and keeping us in the legal sort of green area, as it were. And this is where we've been able to really scale personalization without scaling operational complexity. Movable ink just finds, ties the titles to the user, populates it in our emails, and we can sort of plug this in wherever we want to, really.
One of the best examples of personalization at scale is our year in review campaign that we send every December. It's our largest personalized campaign, and it celebrates each user's unique journey on Peacock. It's obviously not a new concept. Lots of customers do year in review campaigns, but it is just a super fun way to connect with our users in a way that feels meaningful to our brand. Users love hearing about themselves. I know I love receiving them in my inbox from all the different brands that I interact with, and it's just fun to see what other companies are coming up with. So I won't sugarcoat it, though. It is a beast of a campaign. I have 2 human children at home, but every year during Q4, it feels like I have a 3rd baby because of how much effort we put into this campaign and just how complex it is. It's always worth it, though. It has become a flagship moment for our CRM team, blending personalization, storytelling, and lifecycle strategy to drive meaningful business impact at scale. Movable ink allows us to share each subscriber's viewing history through fun storytelling creative that gives them a visual representation of the value they're getting from our product every year.
In 2022, it was really just about proofing the concept. I actually personally didn't work on year in review at this point. I think I was a little bit too new. However, I do know that ideation began in the fall, and then we sent it in December. And I mean, as Brooke mentioned, this is a beast of a campaign. So I'm still amazed at how they managed to pull it off. On top of the limited time that they had and also the legal restrictions, the results were still very strong.
It became our highest performing campaign for driving incremental reviews on top titles, and we saw a 64% return rate among our paid users who received the personalized campaign. This early success validated that recaps definitely resonate with our users, and they can drive real behavioral impact, not just engagement.
In 2023, we really focused more heavily on the creative and deepening the personalization. We added 2 new unique data sets. One of them is a sort of a fan persona based on your viewing history, so you could be a film fanatic or a sports fan. And then also numbered stats, which took the sum of your total watch activity for the year. So that included the number of movies you watched, the number of episodes of TV, and the number of hours of sports watched.
These changes really paid off. It became our #1 win-back campaign for our paid subscribers and the campaign with the highest incremental return rate for our audiences. It also performed well with our free users, proving that this works across different lifecycle stages. And we were excited to lean more into that in 2024. But I will just emphasize, we really leaned into creative this year and every year forward. As proud as I am of 2022 for launching it so quick and navigating new legal restrictions, the creative is a little cringy compared to everything else we usually put out.
In 2024, we focused on optimization, so we deepened personalization even further, we focused on audience targeting, and then of course, better creative execution. I think this year was like a sort of a yearbook theme, which was quite fun. Some of the new data points were your preferred way to stream, so either on a TV, a tablet, or your phone, and my personal favorite, which was the medal that you got depending on your Olympics watch activity. So you would get gold, silver, or bronze based on the number of hours of Olympics content that you watched.
We also became more intentional about how we segmented and targeted our users. We tested different cohorts to understand what would drive the strongest re-engagement. It delivered clear results. We saw a 14% win-back rate and a 63% return rate for our paid users.
Year in review up to that point had always just been about engagement. We never really utilized it beyond just wanting to kind of show our users that what they were getting out of their product at the end of the year. However, we realized in 2025 that we were missing a really great opportunity to drive conversions among our free tier users.
So we evolved the strategy in 2 key ways. First, we introduced tier-specific messaging, tailoring the messages based on user state, whether they were a free user with limited content to view, a select tier user, or a lapsed user that we were trying to win back. Second, and most importantly, we added clear upgrade pathways using personalization not just to reflect past behaviors, but to guide future actions. As a result, this campaign drove about 3,000 premium upgrades while still maintaining strong re-engagement with a 63% return rate for our lapsed users. We also expanded into social and on-platform, making this a fully cohesive, integrated cross-channel experience, driving both engagement and, most importantly, revenue.
And while every campaign always brings you new learnings, we noticed with Year in Review there were a few key things that were consistent year over year. The first, this is a very powerful re-engagement lever. That means that when we send this campaign, we have a very high rate of people that come back to Peacock to engage with our content again. Second, segmentation is critical, so tailoring the experience to your users is key. Third, personalization is a performance enhancer, and personalized stats and messaging is always going to outperform generic ones every time. And most importantly, it's a conversion driver. When personalization is done well, it doesn't just reflect behavior, but it will actively influence it and drive upgrades and conversions. And most importantly, this campaign shows that what can happen when you drive optimization, automation, and personalization into one cohesive experience.
Ultimately, our goal at Peacock is to deliver experiences that feel personal to every user, while enabling our team to operate more efficiently.
And Movable Inc. has been a key partner in helping us get there. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Watch Love Island!